Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd on the 13th of June 2016. Let's see, a prairie rose, and then some other plants and critters and people, and that's a bug on that one. Let's just keep rolling though. But that bird was on a flagpole at the senior center. Looks like a sort of immature bird. I'm not sure if it's a mockingbird or what, but it was singing so loud that everybody out front, when I was leaving, could hear it, and people were looking up at it. And so I photographed it a few times. See, I think it's a mockingbird. And it was singing something, could be mockingbird could sing anything, of course. But anyhow, that's the reason I stopped. And see, there he is on top of that flagpole. Wind was blowing, and he was a talking, or she. And there's another angle. I just thought that was a super spot to get something that is fairly unusual. Birds will sit on anything high up, so they can see what's around them. Okay, this is called Indian plantain, and there are two varieties of it, and some of my friends have tried to tell me which it is, but I'm not sure. Didn't mean to share this blurry version, but anyway, we've got some better ones. These are very close-up views of Indian plantain, and it's a native species and can be found on prairies and on the mountaintops and so forth. And here we are. These are all, of course, in Fayetteville, and this is the sensitive briar, and these are called wing stem. Well, the ones I usually show are white, and they are related closely. Verbicina virginica is the white one. I'm not sure which this is called, but they both have stems that will, as you go down closer to the bottom, there's more clearly a wing part growing. You can see it on there under that largest bloom. And the winter situation with them is they will have ice around the base. Okay, here's an aster family with a spider. If John Rule were here, he didn't make it today, but he might tell us what kind of spider this is. But anyway, we always love the insects that are on these things. There's back to the plantain. I had to make a lot of pictures to show it. May not show it next week. I could do some things over and over, but I thought it was beautiful when I got those close-ups of it. And now we have obedient plant, which is in bloom everywhere now, I guess. It's ever been, except the places that have been paved over. And so a lot of those, all these plants, of course, are disappearing in our urban area around Fayetteville. Okay, this is a variety of Monarda, and these are spectacular right now. And we're now at Jumpsuit Jamie's house, and he has this species of milkweed growing along with his many other beautiful things. And that's it that I was there to look at, because Jamie wasn't sure what it was, and I said, oh, that's the one I've been trying to find more of. So those are just growing wild in his yard. But there he was showing us the berries. He can't identify for sure because they're a little different from blackberries and dewberries, and he was trying to get people to tell him why they were exactly the way they are this year. And I wish he were here to speak for himself on that. But he's an amazing gardener. Here he is showing us some swamp milkweed in bloom. And You see the clouds right after that on Sunday, the 12th. It was a big old rainstorm. But anyway, this is one of the milkweed bugs. This is a kind that lays its eggs not to have little butterflies, but to have little critters that eat the seed pods of milkweed plants. Now you see at left, Ellen Compton in the center there, former Senator David Pryor, and Roy Reed, a famous journalist in Arkansas, at right. And here you see David and Roy speaking, as they have for decades, because Roy was always, like I say, a leading journalist that David respected a great deal. And it's nice when you see this interaction of journalists and politicians. That's a good sign. Okay, this says, I don't mind you being rich. I do mind you buying the government. We'll close with that. Thank you. Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepard on the 13th of June 2016. We're looking at first a fritillary butterfly, the great spangled fritillary. It's on a echinacea anyway, coneflower, and these were made at Bob Allen's property down in central Arkansas along a little mountain stream that runs into Big Piney Creek. Anyhow, that's the first one of those I got a good clear shot at and had the zoom lens, so I zoomed on that one a bunch of times. And he kept changing from one to the other of the several of the coneflowers. Okay, this is inside Bob Allen's house. Bob's sitting in the center at the back, and these are all members of the Sierra Club state chapter committee. And there's Rob Leffler with Bob Allen. They're wearing the official shirt, has been for the last couple of years, that we all got, and very pleased with the design of those by a lady who's no longer on that board. And here's Bob Allen with his wife, who's a wonderful person to visit because she makes sure we get well fed. And of course, this time Bob was cooking some burgers on her thing, but she had other things for us. She's a generous hostess and very tolerant of a bunch of folks coming to visit their house, which is in a beautiful place. You can see the outdoors there. They're back off the main highway, and they have lots of interesting animals. They have a solar panel array that actually puts money back in their account, and it's really proof of how good that kind of system can be. Okay, here's David Pryor, former senator and former governor of Arkansas, and that's Nate Allen and his wife Nancy Allen, who's more prominent people in Fayetteville over the recent years. And there's okay, just keep rolling here. And there's Nancy Allen again, and somebody's getting a book signed by David Pryor. And you can see a lot of folks there. This was after the president, the speeches were done with, I can name some of those people, can't name them all. And okay, I believe that's Miss Lancaster, who's one of the many, yeah, there she is, with a whole bunch of members of the women's group that handles politics fairly. They may be in a certain party, and you might guess which one it is, but they're very fair in things that they try to do. And, okay, there's David Pryor again. Yeah, these are jumped around. There's Nancy Allen and the young man who's running, standing next to her, talking in her ear, running to be on the quorum court leader, county judge. And this is Mr. Bueller. And Clark is a great musician, and he opened the show with background music and closed it. And he's a delight. You've probably seen him, heard him performing on public access television in the past, particularly with Richard Drake's service. And Laura Kellums with, there the former governor and senator is shaking hands with folks, and that's Brenda Blagg at left, and she was a journalist for years. So the people that got to cover the politicians, I didn't have to do that much as an outdoor writer, but I got to know a bunch of them, but not in the same way they did. I didn't have to go ask them hard questions and make them unhappy most of the time. So you can see when they're friends years later, it's a sign that they enjoyed and appreciated one another's honesty, I think, more than anything. Okay, there's Norma and Roy Reed together. And Roy, of course, was a New York Times writer, and Arkansas Gazette writer, and a teacher at the University of Arkansas Journalism Department for years. So he worked with such people as this. Ellen Compton at the left. Her dad was the person Compton Gardens is named for, and he worked for the saving of the Buffalo River way back there. Till next time, do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, the woods green. See ya.